Antony Gambino was a reputed member of the Gambino crime family, one of the 5 families that dominate organized crime in New York City. However, it appears that the specific name Antony Gambino is not as widely recognized as other prominent figures in organized crime, like John Gotti or Carlo Gambino. This may be due to several people with the surname Gambino being involved in various capacities within the crime family. That said, the term Gambino usually refers to members of the family rather than one person. The Gambino crime family. Overview. The Gambino crime family was founded in the early 20th century and is a part of the Sicilian Mafia in America. It is named after Carlo Gambino, who became its boss in 1957 and led it to dominance in the New York underworld. The family has been involved in various criminal activities including murder, racketeering, loan sharking, extortion, drug trafficking, and gambling. Organized crime in America. The Gambino family was largely centered in New York City, though its influence stretched into New Jersey, Philadelphia, Florida, and beyond. Various members of the family were involved in criminal operations across these cities, such as controlling labor unions, running illegal gambling rings, and orchestrating murders as part of their power struggles within organized crime. Murders and crimes. Like many mafia members, some Gambinos were deeply involved in orchestrating hits and murders, often in the name of protecting their turf, eliminating rivals, or enforcing loyalty. The Gambino family was known for its ruthlessness. For example, the Castellano assassination. This was one of the most famous Gambino family hits. In 1985, the then-boss Paul Castellano was gunned down outside a steakhouse in Manhattan, orchestrated by John Gotti, who then took over the family. John Gotti's reign. Gotti, known as the Teflon Don because of his ability to avoid conviction, ruled the family for many years, overseeing violent enforcement of family policies. Numerous murders were attributed to Gotti and his underlings during his reign. Cities of influence. 1. New York City, the center of operations for the Gambino family. Their base of power was in Brooklyn, and they extended their influence through the 5 boroughs. They controlled large sections of the construction industry and had significant political connections in the city. 2. Philadelphia. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Gambino family had relationships with the Philadelphia crime family. They collaborated on racketeering and other criminal ventures. 3. Florida. The Gambino family expanded to Florida, where many members sought to establish operations, particularly in the gambling and drug trade. 4. Las Vegas. While the Gambinos didn't have the dominant influence in Las Vegas compared to other crime families, they still had ties to gambling operations through associates. Documentary conversations. There have been several documentaries and interviews with former mafia members and law enforcement officials, detailing the workings of the Gambino family. A common theme is the brutal enforcement of loyalty and the ruthlessness with which the Gambino family eliminated threats. These documentaries often feature ex-mobsters, FBI agents, and journalists talking about the rise and fall of various Gambino members. One such example could be interviews with Michael Franzese, a former member of the Colombo family who talks about the inner workings of mafia families in documentaries. Though not a Gambino member, he discusses mafia life in general. There are also tapes and recordings of John Gotti, wiretapped by the FBI, that reveal the conversations of mafia bosses, offering insight into their operations. The fall of the Gambinos. As with most organized crime families, law enforcement efforts, particularly through the RICO Act, Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, led to the downfall of many Gambino family members. Many were convicted of various charges, and some turned informants, further weakening the family. The imprisonment of John Gotti in 1992 marked the end of the family's high-profile dominance. The family still exists but operates with far less influence than during its peak in the mid-20th century. Conclusion. If there is a specific Antony Gambino you're referring to, the information might be more obscure or connected to smaller factions within the Gambino crime family. The broader narrative of the Gambino family, however, is marked by violence, murder, and organized crime operations that spanned multiple cities in the U.S. Several documentaries cover these themes extensively, focusing on figures like Carlo Gambino, John Gotti, and others. Thanks for tuning into Sika True Crime Docs. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating tales. Your support helps us keep bringing these stories to life. See you in the next episode.